At the time of shooting this video, I currently do 2,000 quality lead in my business. And if I'm to go back to start running Facebook ad from scratch, here are 5 testing strategies that I'm going to apply. And the very first one is to understand that there are 5 things you test when you're running Facebook ad. The first one is the offer. I remember last year when I tested different kinds of offer for my business. I tested ebook, I tested video training, I tested paid offer when I was generating lead. And I came to realize that one was giving me the best result in terms of lead, in terms of conversion, in terms of quality lead. And then I decided to stay with that one that is working for me. Assuming I did not test it, I wouldn't know that that one is going to be the best. And that is why you need to test different offers. If you are running e-commerce, testing offer could just be testing different products. If you are into consulting, testing offer could just be testing different bonuses, testing different agencies. The moment you discover the one that is giving you the best result, then you can scale that up. So you need to understand that the offer is the very first thing you test. If I want to go into a new niche now, the very first thing I'm going to test is the offer. And the second thing is the creative. And the creative simply means the image or the video. This is where you shoot different video, you come up with different images, and you put them on Facebook. Let the market decide which one is working for you. And that way you are going to get better results for yourself. Last year, I shot a lot of videos on ad that was not working. I was getting frustrated until I discovered a pattern and a strategy and a formula that every time I follow it, I get better results. And guess what? I have decided to stick to that pattern over the time, and I have been getting fantastic results. So if you do not test your creative, you will not be able to discover what is working for you. The third thing you test is the copy. Different copies resonate with different peoples, but in every niche, in every industry, there's a particular pattern you need to follow for you to start getting better results. For instance, when it comes to the health industry, one of the copy that works very well is a story-based copy. And if you go to that industry and you're using other patterns that are not working, then you're wasting your time. How did I discover it? Because I was testing different copies. So in the niche you are in now, if you're into real estate, if you're into affiliate marketing, discover the pattern that is working with your audience, discover the pattern that is resonating with them, and then you stick to it. Guess what? Even if it's one pattern that you discover that is working, there are several ways you can explore it for you to run ad consistently for the next 24 months without even saturating the market. And then the fourth thing you test is the headline. When you are running advert, there is a one-line sentence that is called the headline, and this headline is actually very important. So you test it to see which one is working for you. What the headline is meant to do is to stop the scroll and grab attention. So you have to use punch words, powerful words, very compelling copy, so that when people read it, it will grab their attention to actually read the most of your copy or watch your video. And then the last thing that you test is the landing page. When people click on your advert, where are they going? They go to the landing page. Your landing page could be your website, it could be seller, it could be on WhatsApp, it could be on Google Drive, anywhere you want to send them. But you need to test which one is giving you the best result, and you stick with it. For different industry, it could just be sending them to WhatsApp. For some industry, they need to send people to website for them to fill in their detail and become a lead. But you can't know this if you have not tested it. And guess what? The moment you discover what is working for you, you just need to stick with it. So that is the first testing strategy that I'm going to explore. Once I have gotten all of this, I now know that I'm now ahead of many people when it comes to Facebook adverts. The second testing strategy is to use low budget. Last week, I met someone that told me that he blew 100,000 naira without getting any result. And I told him that the only reason you could spend that amount without getting result is because you are using higher budget to test. If I'm using like 1,600 naira to test, before I could spend 50,000, I would have gotten a lot of things that is working. But if you are using 5k, 10k to test for one advert, before you know it, you're already ahead of 100,000 naira without having anything that is working. So if I want to start testing my advert for the very first time, I am going to be using a low budget because I don't have all the money in the world to spend on the things I have not understand, even if it will work. So the very first thing I will do is to use 1,600, 1,900 or even 3,000 naira to test my copy. That way, before I spend 30,000, I would have gotten something that is working. And the moment I get what is working, then I'm going to do the next thing that I'll talk to you about. The third testing strategy is to document what is working properly. The moment I get a headline that is working, I simply document it. If I get a copy, creative, offer, landing page that is working, you are going to document it very well. Because guess what? In the next 6 months, you could still go back to that thing you documented and find out the exact pattern and framework that is working for you. You simply need to start using them again and you will get better results. Some of us that are running ads, we don't even document anything that is working. Every time you want to publish adverts, you are starting from scratch. That is why you keep on wasting money. There are a lot of documentation that I have in my business that contains a lot of swipe files, things that have worked in the past. Whenever I want to create a new advert, I go there and look at it very well, and then I pick the things that are working from there, and then I create similar things from there. And that's how you get better results. Most time when I run advert, I am not praying to get it to work. I already know that this advert is going to work. The question is whether it's going to give me a lower cost per lead or whether it's going to give me a slightly higher cost per lead. But I already know it's going to work. And that's how you should do in your business. Have a lot of documentation. It might take you a little extra time to do this, but I promise you that it will be worth it in the long run. The fourth testing strategy is to create similar things to the things that is working. Once you have gotten what is working, you need to unlearn everything you are testing again, because you need to start using similar things from things that is working. If it is a copy, think of how you can write similar copy that looks like that. If it is a story that you told, use another name to tell another story that looks like that story. If it is a video that you shot, you can actually shoot the same video. You can change your dress, you can move around, you can use different background, you can do different things, but it's still going to look similar to that thing that is working. Because I want you to take home this thing. Nothing on Facebook advert works by luck. If something is working, it means there is a reason it is working, and you need to actually exploit it a lot. Since the beginning of this year, I have not created anything from scratch. I simply create similar things to the ones that are working, and that's how I was able to do 2,000 leads every single day without wasting a lot of money. If you're into real estate, if you're into e-commerce, if you're an affiliate marketer, go back to the last 6 months of your running ad, look at the things that have worked in these past 6 months and create similar things and use it to run advert for the next 6 months. I promise you, if you do this, you are going to, number one, cut the amount you are wasting on advert that is not getting you results. Number two, you're going to increase your number of conversion, be it lead or sales. Number three, you are going to grow your business because you will have enough money to spend on ad without wasting it on the ones that are not working. The fifth strategy is to explore other strategies with what you have gotten. Now that you have a copy that is working, you have a video that is working, you have a headline that is working, you can use all of them to explore different interests with Facebook keyword. If you are into affiliate marketing, real estate, e-commerce, you are a coach or consultant, when you go into Facebook Ad Manager, there are different interests that are relatable to you. For instance, if I'm into real estate, I could use that video to run an advert to target certain keyword like property, land investment, ownership, and also landlady. You can do that and it will give you more results. Instead of just using that thing to run one advert, you can even create a lookalike audience. You can create custom audiences. When you do it, you find out that some of these audiences are going to be giving you results, and that will help you to get more conversion using the same thing that you have that is already working. I tell you, this is one of the pro secret that we use for Facebook ad. And then quickly before I go, I want to show you 5 primary metrics you need to look out to when you are testing, because when you are testing your Facebook ad, you don't have enough money, so you need to quickly make informed decision, and looking at these 5 metrics will help you to make those decisions. Number 1 is the hook rate. What is the hook rate? It simply means the percentage of people that actually watch the first 3 seconds of your video. The story this metrics tells you is whether your video is catchy or not. If your video are not grabbing attention in the first 3 seconds, it means there is something you are doing or there is something you are saying that is not grabbing the attention. But if your hook rate is very catchy, it means whatever you did in the first 3 to 5 seconds is getting you result, so you can actually explore it again. And if your hook rate is below 20%, it means your video is not getting the attention you need. For some of my video, I get more than 40% hook rate, and sometimes I ask myself, man, what did I do in the first 3 to 5 seconds that is grabbing attention like this? So sometimes I sit down and I watch that video again. I take note of exactly what I did, and then I replicate it in other video that I'm going to create. That is why your hook rate is very important. The second metric is called the link click. Link click is actually a very important metric for every internal marketer, because if people are not clicking your link, they won't even come to your landing page. They won't even become customers. So link click is one of the most important metrics you need to pay attention to. If you are getting a higher cost per click, there is no way you're going to get a lower cost per conversion. Because if Facebook is charging you a lot of money to get just a link click, there is no way you're going to get a conversion, and it's not going to charge you very high. For me, almost all my adverts get lower cost per link click because I have seen what is working and I'm replicating it into different strategy. And then the third metric is cost per link click, which is simply a metric that shows you how much Facebook is charging you to get a click. And like I said, if it is high, then you're going to expect a higher cost per result. The fourth metric is click-through rate. This is just a percentage of people that see your advert versus people that click on it. For instance, if 100 people see your advert and 1 person click on it, it means you have 1% click-through rate. Anything below 1%, it means your advert is not grabbing attention. The fifth metric is called your result. That is how many leads you've gotten, how many sales you've gotten, how many traffic you've gotten. And then the last metric is cost per result. This is a metric that tells you how much Facebook is charging you to get that result you need. For instance, if I'm running advert and I'm driving people to message me on WhatsApp, my cost per result is going to show me how much Facebook is charging me per every person that messaged me on WhatsApp. If that cost is high, that means you are going to spend a lot of money to get results. So your goal is, how can I make cost per result to go down? And you can't just make that cost per result to go down if you are not getting enough click, if you are getting high cost per click, and if people are not clicking on it. So you see how all the metrics tells quite a story. These are the primary metrics. In some of my videos, I talk about the secondary metrics, but they are not really important metrics to pay attention to, because the primary metrics is the real one that tells the story around your adverts. These are the metrics that will help you to make an informed decision to either kill your advert, wait for it, or leave it to be running. And if you want to learn how you can actually set up your pixel and install it on your website in 2025, click on this video and you watch it right away.